Hey everybody, how's it going? Studman coming back at you once again, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some things that I got from Half Price Books Outlet again. Sadly, this may be one of the last times that I get to go to Half Price Books Outlet basically once every 2 weeks or so. You know how it's been recently, because I'm going to be moving away from where the Half Price Books Outlet is, and thus it won't be as easy to get there every now and then. There will be some sales, some really good sales, that I'll just have to say no to. I'll just have to not go to it because it'll be so far out of the way that it actually kind of won't make sense, or I won't have the money because of other expenses that have come up recently. So yeah, it's just, that's the way things are sometimes, guys. It's just, that's the way things are. But I assure you that I'm still a collector at heart, and I'm going to have a bigger room, a much larger space in the place that I'm going to be moving. Therefore, I will actually have room for another shelving unit, which is good because I was running out of space for everything that I was getting at places like Half Price Books. So it was becoming a bit of a problem. Things stacking, DVDs and Blu-rays stacking up all over my room, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to do now. I don't even know, because my room just simply was not big enough. My living space was just simply not big enough, but that is about to change for the better very soon. So very happy about that. Very happy that I'm finally going to have enough room to spread out. In fact, I got another shelving unit, and the shelving unit I got is just like that one. So I'm going to have two that are exactly alike right there, that look exactly like that, and that's awesome. But I have so much stuff now that I'm actually thinking that I'm going to start like cataloging it all like in a spreadsheet, just to make sure that I know what I have, that I know what version I have, you know, all the important stuff, you know what I mean? So I know there are things like Film AF and what once was DVD AF, but it's now Film AF. But I'm thinking it's probably just a better practice at this point to just use a spreadsheet. I know how to make spreadsheets. It's quite simple. You just go on there, you put the values in, and bam. And quite frankly, that's going to be a lot better than anything else I could use, like Film AF, because that will give me the information that is pertinent to me, because I get to determine what information to put in there. So anyways, regardless, I just wanted to get that out there, let you know some of my plans for the future, for the next few weeks, in fact, and give you a bit of a heads up, you know what I mean, before I get into the pickup portion of this video. By the way, I also wanted to mention that if you were worried last week I put out my movie marathon, right? And that was like a 2-hour long video. That is a feature film length video, you guys. I basically made a movie. If you think about it, I made a movie. So it's a very, very long video, right? And because of that, I, one, wanted to give it time to breathe, and two, I didn't want it to be competing with anything else, you know what I mean? And of course, because it took me so long to edit, I figured, you know what? I'm just going to make this the one video that I put out this week. So if you're thinking, wait, I thought he does 2 videos a week. I do, but in that case, it was just one, because again, room to breathe, very long video, give people time to actually watch it. Because I know a lot of you, if you do care about watching it, aren't going to be maybe watching it more over the course of more than one day, you know? Just a thought I had. But anyways, let's get into the stuff that you came here for, the pickups. So Half Price Books recently had another half off sale, so half off of everything in the store, Half Price Books Outlet. And I found some pretty interesting stuff, so why don't I go ahead and show you. First off, with the DVDs, we have Femme Fatale, which I picked up because it is a Brian De Palma film that I have not yet seen. And I want to see pretty much everything this guy does, because Brian De Palma can do some really good stuff. He's done some really good stuff in the past, and I have no doubt he did something pretty, at least halfway decent with this. I mean, I know he does make some movies that aren't necessarily great, but I love the guy's style. I love his approach, and, you know, I get the sense he's a film nerd just like the rest of us, and he kind of puts that kind of stuff into his movies, so which makes it a joy to watch then. So, yeah, hoping that this is a pretty good movie, expecting at least fairly somewhat good things. But either way, it was, I believe, all the DVDs here were $4, so it came down to $2 total for that. Next up, I found a DVD that has not been released on any other format to my knowledge. It might have been released on VHS, but it definitely has not been released on Blu-ray, and that is because it's actually a TNT film, a movie that was shot for a cable channel, if you will. And it's called Crossfire Trail, a Western that I have yet to see. And I looked up the reviews on IMDb. It looked pretty interesting. It's like the synopsis sounded interesting, and the ratings were fairly good. So I figured I'm going to give this one a shot, especially since it's not available any other way, at least not to my knowledge. So, as you can tell, it stars Tom Selleck. They also mention here Louis L'Amour. Louis L'Amour was the person who wrote the book that this movie is based upon. So, yeah, should be pretty good stuff. I don't know if it's going to be fantastic, but I figured I'd give it a shot. It's one of those titles that's a little bit harder to come by, a little bit more of a rare find, just something uncommon, I guess you could say. So I said, yeah, I'll give this one a shot. Next up, I found a movie here that I picked up for a specific reason, and that is Quitting. I know you're thinking here, wait, what the hell is that? Well, that's what I thought when I first picked it up, but the main reason that I picked this up, actually, is because it's a foreign film, first and foremost, but it's also a film where the director, or the filmmakers, I should say, the filmmakers got casts who were actual, real-life mental asylum inmates, and he got them to play themselves in this movie. So, you want to talk about method acting? I think actually being somebody who had been in an insane asylum and then asking those people to perform the role of somebody, like, they would know what it's like better than anyone else. So you're gonna get some fairly realistic interpretations here. And just reading that on the back here, I was just like, that sounds really interesting. That approach to filmmaking sounds really interesting. So I had to pick it up just based on that alone, hoping for good things. And yeah, it did have fairly decent reviews on IMDb, if I can remember correctly. Anyways, next up I picked up a movie I'm sure everybody here, or everybody on my channel is going to be like, really? Captain Ron. I didn't have it in my collection yet, and honestly, it's not the worst movie ever, you guys. Sometimes I'm in a Captain Ron mood. I apologize, but that's true. Sometimes I kind of want to watch this movie. It's a fun little romp, a callback to the 80s, but something that was made, I believe, in the 90s, or early 90s at least. I may be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's an early 90s movie. I'm sure if I had looked it up on IMDb, I would know, but I didn't, because it's Captain Ron. I would have liked to get this, I guess, for a better price, but it's not too bad of a price. $2. Captain Ron was in really good condition, so I said, meh, yeah, why the hell not? And then the last of the DVDs I picked up here was The Maiden Heist. Now, let's see if you can figure out why I picked this one up. It shouldn't be too hard to figure out if you take a look at the cast, alright? First of all, you got Morgan Freeman. Second, you got William H. Macy. Third, Christopher Walken. I mean, I don't need to say anything else at that point. That's a movie with all three of these people in it. I've never heard of it. I didn't know it existed. I look it up on IMDb. It's got fairly decent reviews. It's not really a movie, though, that, you know... I'm holding this up right now, and I guarantee you half my audience, at least half my audience, has no idea what the hell this even is. And they're thinking to themselves, holy crap, there's a movie with... This movie has Morgan Freeman, Christopher Walken, and William H. Macy. I know, that's what I was thinking when I was in the store. So... yeah, I'm actually expecting some fairly good things. The plot sounds fairly interesting, so hopefully this is a pretty good movie. And apparently kind of an uncommon title, too, so alright. $2, not a bad deal. Next up, we're going to talk about the Blu-rays that I picked up, and these were $2.50 each, because they are normally $5, so half off of that would be $2.50. Now, I don't have the first of these movies, but I decided to pick up the second one here simply because, A, it's a Disney title, which carries a heftier price tag no matter what you do, and B, I really like this movie, and I plan to get the first one at some point, so I picked up National Treasure 2 here. This is I'm not a huge Nicolas Cage fan, but I do love his acting, like over-the-top acting from time to time. And, you know, sometimes he actually turns in a really good performance, too. He has turned in a lot of very good performances over the years, but, you know, I think he's better known for his cheesy, corny acting. So, when I say I'm not a huge fan, what I mean is, you know, I like Leo DiCaprio a little bit more than I like our Lord and Savior Nicolas Cage, if you will. I hate to say it, but it's true. Anyways, I love these movies because they really feel like a modern version of Indiana Jones, which is perfect. Indiana Jones is a great freaking franchise, a great series that has a lot of great stories and memories attached to it. I don't know if as many memories are going to be pulled from National Treasure 2, but or National Treasure for that matter. But they're fun movies, and I enjoyed them quite a bit. So, yeah, I decided to pick this one up for $2.50. Not a bad deal. I believe this usually goes for between, at the lowest price, between like $8 and $10. So, it's a pretty good find. Next, I found a movie that I've been waiting to watch for the longest time because I've heard mixed reviews. Some people have said it's okay. Others have said it's a pile of steaming crap. I don't know what to think, so I decided for $2.50, that's about the price you'd pay to rent a movie. Might as well check out Battle Los Angeles. It's sci-fi. I generally like sci-fi, even sci-fi that most people don't like. I generally like it. Sorry. What was that one with Tom Cruise, Oblivion or something like that? I loved that one, and that's a movie that did not get very well rated, but I liked it. I thought it was a really fantastic sci-fi movie. So, who knows? Maybe I'll like this one. I do have to admit that when it comes to sci-fi, if there's more action than sci-fi, then I'm usually not as interested, but I'm still expecting some at least halfway decent things. Now, this isn't the one that had Kel Mitchell in it, is it? I think the one that's like a rip-off of this movie, essentially, is the one that had Kel Mitchell. But either way, yeah, I definitely wanted to check this out because I love sci-fi. Got to give it a chance. You know what I mean? And for $2.50 to get the Blu-ray, pretty good deal. Next, I found The Lincoln Lawyer, Matthew McConaughey. Woof. I mean, doesn't he sell Lincolns now? I mean, I know he does all these car commercials and stuff. But I mean, this guy has really like solidified his place as an actor in Hollywood in recent years with a lot of fantastic roles, and I've heard very good things about his role in The Lincoln Lawyer, but I never got the chance to sit down and actually watch it. So, $2.50, and it came with the slipcover. That's a pretty good deal. I mean, if I saw this on Black Friday sitting there for $4, I'd probably pick it up for that price. So yeah, I mean, Matthew McConaughey, hard to go wrong with him. and the synopsis sounds cool. The concept behind this movie sounds cool. I can't wait to finally check it out. Next, I found another Blu-ray that I don't actually have the first movie of, but this is the sequel. And I got it figuring, oh, I'll pick up the first movie at some point. I know I will. So for $2.50, I decided to pick up The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Believe it or not, this is one of the 2 Hunger Games that I've actually seen. I haven't seen any of the others. I have the first and the second one. Those are the only ones I've seen, and quite frankly, I like them. I think they're pretty good movies. They're not fantastic, but they're pretty good. I'd say they're both at least a 7 or 8 out of 10. It's quite an enjoyable franchise. It's not the first movie I'm going to pick up off the shelf, but it's a good movie franchise, I think. And eventually I'm going to get around to watching the other movies in the franchise. So, yeah, why not pick them up? Because chances are I'm going to want to get them all for my collection anyways at some point. And for $2.50, that's a really, really good price. Maybe it's not the best price ever, but it's a really good price. And of course, special features include a 9-part making of documentary. That sounds interesting. And it came with the slipcover, but the slipcover's kind of beat up, so yeah, it's not perfect, but it'll do. For $2.50, it'll do, especially when it's not something that I'm a huge fan of, you know what I mean? And last but not least, I can't remember if I got... Honestly, I put this on top of another stack of DVDs because I'm running out of room, like I mentioned. And I can't remember if this is something that I got in another haul or if it's something that is part of this haul. But I'm going to throw it in there anyways. I'm going to throw it in assuming that it is part of this haul. I picked up Windtalkers on Blu-ray, which you may recall I had picked up the DVD of a while back for, I think it was $1, from Half Price Books, no less. And I got the DVD wanting to, you know, check the movie out before I get it on Blu-ray, because the Blu-ray is kind of hard to come by for a halfway decent price sometimes. So, yeah, that was the thought process behind it. But then I came across this for $2.50. $2.50. See, that's the funny thing about this is I remember how much I paid for it, so it's a very good chance that it could be a part of this this pickup. I'm pretty sure it is. I just don't have a very good memory, so it may not be. But either way, $2.50 for Windtalkers, great deal. That means that total for like the DVD and the Blu-ray, if I want to make a combo pack, I paid $3.50. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a good movie, guys. I've heard and seen some pretty good things about it. So, yeah, John Woo, hard to go wrong. $2.50, pretty good deal. But sadly, that was all I could find this time around at Half Price Books. The last few times, actually, they haven't had as many things. I think partially because the word is out. You know, most people who weren't going there previously are now going there for all the sales, and they're getting there early in the morning. You know, I don't do that. I'm a late afternoon kind of guy, so that means sometimes I'll miss things, but then that also means, like you've seen, I don't miss everything. There are a lot of things that other people miss that I pick up, so yeah, even if you factor in that other people might be coming in and, you know, getting all the good stuff before I get there, even if you factor that possibility in, the past experience there has indicated that most people who go there don't always pick up the best possible stuff, which allows me to pick it up, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, it may not be the biggest or best haul ever, but I was pretty happy with it. I thought I found some pretty cool stuff there, and I mean, hey, at the very least, I gotta get a National Treasure now, the first one, and the first Hunger Games, and I got some movies to check out here that look really interesting that I had never heard of, like Captain Ron, for one. No, I'm just kidding. Like Quitting and The Maiden Heist both look very interesting to me. So, yeah. Really interesting pickups, I think, this time around. But, you know, not the biggest, not the best, but it'll do. It's kind of sad that one of my last few hauls from half-price books is so small. But there's not much I can do about that. And there's no saying I'm never going to go back. It's just that it's probably not going to be... It's probably going to be more like a once a month kind of thing rather than a 2 or 3 times a month kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, yeah, with that said, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later. Peace.